Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so shall we read some poems?
Sure.
I thought Suzy came up with the best title possible for a complete document. So for Delaney, Artist of Poetry.
Nice.
Hang on, let me scroll here.
By the way, Clark, are you recording this?
Yes, I am.
Good.
And I will edit out, a lot of the discussion of the mechanics of dealing with taking care of Delaney, because we don't need to share that, but I'll edit that out at some point. Suzy, let's just begin with you.
Okay. Life. Strolling, stumbling, waltzing, falling, crawling, climbing, traversing life's paths we go. Love crescendos in our hearts, descends to background melodies, or ends in silence when the music's gone. Work pays bills, fills our bellies, shelters us, nourisher, robber of inner lights, or just a neutral zone. The ups, downs, all arounds push our boundaries, shape our worlds. Artists all, crafting vistas we desire, painting portraits of the self, as we are, as we were, as we will be, who we are, who we were, who we will be.
I can't see it.
Dear Delaney, Carborough Cowboy, Carborough Troubadour, I'm so glad to have known you. After our rendezvous in the parking lot where you gave me the gift of technology, and then later when we sat on my back porch and you sang your song, I felt surely that we would meet again. Now, each time I hear the freight train go by or hear the freight train blues, which you knew well, I will think of you. I send you now the words you sent to me in a time of loss. God bless you and keep you, dear troubadour.
This was written before Delaney was, or just as I found out he went into the hospital. So that was about a week ago. Delaney, I balanced all, brought all to mind. The years to come seemed waste of breath, a waste of breath the years behind, in balance with this life, this death. W.B. Yeats. Twist of fate absorbed, conquered by day, by night. Wise words, reliable, outrigged, conjured to amaze. Emerged from wood, bask sunshine, Carborough's light. Back outside to Coppa smoke, to clear Carolina haze. Some bewitching hippie-clad, long-haired lass notes your hair with envy. You catch her third eye. Gains are made at coffee, leads to splendor, grass. Magic passed forward, young adherents raise chalice high. Fierce belief that life lived uniquely is the only way. Dodging pesky rules that interfere with fun. We never know what your micro-telescope will display. Come here and show us, or we will hide the smoking gun. Because you're savvy in forms of ancient alabaster skin that pops upon us, revealing what is without, within.
Okay, so Shanna sent me this last night. So I'll read it. The last tear. I hold on to the last tear for you, Delaney, knowing that it will hold memories of your unique visions. Sharing your soul, you honored me with your gift, Delaney. There will be no last tear, for you will always be with me.
Wow.
Delaney shuffles the cards. Young man sat at round pine table with four men he did not know. beat a cold sweat trickling down his spine under his unstarched shirt. This is my time to win. I've got to win. Every penny I've got is in that pot. When the last card was dealt, he checked with a middling straight. They all checked. He held his breath. Whole cards were turned. He groaned. To his left was a street 1 card higher. It's not fair, he thought. I deserve to win, at least once in a while. Nobody said life was fair, son, said the man with the ponytail from across the table, standing up, reading his mind. Life is a crapshoot. Win some, lose some. Just like a poker game. You dealt a hand and you play it best you can. Whatever card. Lady Luck may smile once in a while, or never. We cannot know which card is next or what's around. Look it over. Decide what to do with it. Cards are shuffled to fall out as they may, randomly. Maybe not. Surely there's a plan. Otherwise, this old would have kept spinning for several million years. There's a plan, all right. And we're all part of it, or we wouldn't be here. Here we are, facing all those decisions that day, feeling good about some, discouraged by some, learning as we go not to whine about losing and not to brag about winning, keeping faith at the end of a long road. We're gonna hit a big jackpot. Come on, get up. I'll buy you a drink. Or not. Because, say, we take what we get, decide for ourselves what to do with it. One decision after another, which is what makes this old globe keep spinning. Can't control what the world does to us, but with great effort, we can look at it with a cool eye and control how we react to it. And therein lies salvation.
Margaret.
Okay. For Delaney, what does it mean, the pattern formed by bark and the narrow spaces between? Or 2 men who sit in chairs, angled toward one another a few feet apart, talking, Monday morning, campus grass stretching for acres around them under old oaks and pecans and a couple of lacebark elms, calligraphy wrapped around them, and their leaves gesturing as gracefully as 2 men's hands.
Right, Elio?
Oh.
Okay. Am I loud and clear?
Yes.
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 Agawas, agape. Love, noble garment, come. Light the main road to our houses. Bring the communion. Rest memories of friend and his pain. Rest hope and love. The trees are greener when we love with your love. The world more luminous when sung with your voice. And time becomes fuller, even an instant, an infinity of comfort. Come, we need grace, sustenance, to one, for one, and for many. Fill our arms, make yourself a vastly of fresh water. Restore our friend, make him richer. He is rich already in the eyes of many. Agape, perfume of intimate shadows, lifter of delicate eyes, generous mentor of free-spirited life, guardian of noble feelings. Come, this is your home. Bring quiet peace and nourishment to all the ends in our lives of palpable goodness, blessed by his living.
Okay, Bob.
Yeah, read this. All right. You got it? Okay. All right.
So Bob, do you know that that is his hometown?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where- His hometown.
Oh, yeah,
Kingsport.
Yes. Go ahead. Okay.
for Delaney, who shows the way. Nobody sensible would leave a cozy hometown like Kingsport, Tennessee, turn down an appointment for Annapolis, wander the classrooms of UNC like some latter-day Thomas Wolfe or Jack Kerouac looking for an ultimate truth. Nobody sensible would set up shop peddling potions for witches and wizards, track the mysteries of Meister Eckhart and St. Teresa, sink the mind into the inferno of Vietnam, into the swamps of the Trump continent, aiming to come to the surface with a spiritual life. Nobody sensible would sleep out 3 winters in the woods of Orange County, turn up each morning ready for coffee and talk, ready to sit there all day with you in case you had something you wanted or needed to say, in case you would come up with some new piece of the whole. Nobody sensible would sit crouched at the far end of the poet's table, growl out his own poem or somebody else's, every syllable so barbed, so resounding, every word announced, respected, spoken so wryly, so reverently, spoken as though nothing else counts. Thanks, Delaney, for showing there's a nonsensible way to live.
Okay, 2 things motivated this. One was my confusion about why he embraced Catholicism. And the other was his poem that he wrote, The Pursuit of the Red Mouse. And I tried to write a sonnet, which is a form that it doesn't work so easily for me. So, unselfing for Delaney. Deeper, wider, longer, and with fervor he seeks, half-visioned, discerning more clearly than I. Upright, unbending, and anchored, he speaks, disequilibrated, yet more steady than I. Each day, brushing away unmistakable pangs to further his journey toward revelation. A mindfulness wherewith to serve his friends invites the muse to absorb his libations. A turn in the road, the magisterium draws him, sweat into tears, tears into wine, wine into blood. The particle and wave of salvation it calls him. Knight errant finds refuge in sanctifying love. Now the opioid dream casts off his last shield. Red mouse, morning tree line, one more time revealed.
Oh.
Speaking of, Bennett, would you read your poem for us?
Yeah. First of all, I want to say this was a very difficult poem to write in terms of limiting myself because I wanted to include more. And his pain, I don't think I dealt with his pain. I wanted to, but the time came, I had to turn it in, so anyway. And it's written as a eulogy on the death of a poet. Once I told him he sounded like an Anglican bishop reading from the 1932 Book of Common Prayer. He loved words. Old words were his friends, like lords and ladies in waiting, calling them up on a crank phone. Now, will any poet remember to use old words in that unique voice of his that sounded like a mix between a tenor saxophone and a slide trombone? If a poem wanted a sound, he'd make up a word, play ping pong with letters and punctuation. Established words, he played around with their copyright. Could be a pisser, Delaney. The 18th century would have liked him, Voltaire, Addison, and Steele, the times when satire was read, but he was more than tied to any time. He had his dark side of the moon, may have chased his star into a black hole that kept him from reaping the rewards given to a man of.
The Delaney devout Watson. Now the season is committed to one direction, increase. Palinode and Pierce visit Bryant Park. They discuss mutability and the danger of shaving while pondering time and distance. Palinode muses. On a bench in Bryant Park on a Sunday after church, you can be forgiven for believing. There is shade and there is light. And there is a cop walking the perimeter and a group of people, young and old, practicing Tai Chi in rhythm with the sounds of traffic. A man beating a drum. And there is ping pong and coffee, a carousel, and the New York Times, and waiters weaving through the tables of the Bryant Park Cafe. You can be forgiven for believing this will go on forever, and that you too shall go on. An overcast came early to the sky, that sky, no, that one. The one that sky, yes, turned pearly and white, whereas in bold contrast all the night it had been black sky and clear, sky black and velvet, a velvet context for all the stars, the small and the large, the near and the far stars, wheeling and nothing there where stars spin in and out of focus, the locus of heaven above. And Pierce observes, each bubble a universe, belly to belly with another universe. That is the thought that occurred while I shaved. The sink, the thousand convex refractors of light conjoined, the face in the mirror, almost not mine own. Each bubble a universe. Palinode reckons. I conclude then, there must be God, by whatever name you wish. Second law of thermodynamics, supreme being, arcanum unius universi. But all God, God all the time. Pierce insees. And then I cut myself, and I don't believe them as a safety razor. The blade slipped and I saw one infinity at its end, one eternity and its beginning in the soap suds in the sink, belly to belly. How we pass from this world to that like people at an airport hurrying to make a connection. And a crescent wound blooming crimson. Its warm sting, a kind of crossing over itself from one consciousness to another. Palinode insees. And it occurred to me, this is something. this is to hope for, this kind of crossing over, under, into. Pierce recapitulates. Surprise, you mean? Palinode confirms, yes. Surprise.
Yeah, that's right. That works. Yeah.
Man's life, a force of heart and guts, caring, shimmering through, strife rife with life, determined live and do. Hell, high water and adversity, endless cycles, joy and despair, acceptance, resignation, revival, life indeed not fair. Flames and dark shroud, blazing righteous indignation, standing tall in torment, insistent on repudiation of wrongs made into truths, lies into standard of being, love distorted into agony of involuntarily seeing, a light that is from darkness, a promise painfully thwarted, a vision abruptly unseen, a destiny never started. His path extended vigorously, despair set aside, relocated, blessings unseen accepted, life passionately consummated.